The story opens at a moment that is both ceremonial and charged with emotion, as the announcement of the bride's name reverberates through the hall. In that instant, every eye is on her, but what makes this moment extraordinary is not just the public declaration, it is the presence of a single man standing by her side. This unexpected connection, in such a formal and traditional setting, immediately captures the imagination. There is an inherent tension between the rigid structures of the occasion and the unpredictable emotions that surface when two people find themselves linked in such a conspicuous way. The public nature of the announcement amplifies every subtle glance, every unspoken acknowledgement, making even the smallest gestures feel monumental. It is in these fleeting, charged moments that the story begins to explore the intricate dance between societal expectation and personal emotion. The unexpectedness of their pairing invites questions about their history and the nature of their bond. Were they childhood acquaintances, whose paths have crossed again under dramatic circumstances? Is there a shared past, a secret understanding, or an unspoken promise that has brought them to this defining moment? The setting, the announcement, a public declaration of a marital union, acts as a crucible that tests the strength and depth of their connection. Readers are drawn into the story because they sense the layers beneath the surface, the nervous anticipation, the thrill of recognition, and the subtle tension that simmers beneath polite smiles and formalities. The narrative uses the traditional setting not just as a backdrop, but as a lens through which the characters' emotions are magnified. What makes this connection compelling is the exclusivity implied by the phrase, "the only man by her side." In a space filled with spectators, family members, and societal expectations, the singular presence of this one person carries weight. It suggests a bond that is recognized and acknowledged even amidst the chaos of tradition and ceremony. This moment becomes a crucible for emotional revelation. It is where the personal collides with the public, where private feelings are hinted at in the subtlest ways. Every small gesture, a protective glance, a reassuring hand, a shared breath, becomes a signal of intimacy that the crowd cannot fully perceive, but that readers immediately understand. The tension created by the unexpected connection is further heightened by the contrast between the external formality and the internal emotional landscape. On the outside, everything appears orderly, ritualistic, and ceremonial. Yet, beneath the surface, the characters navigate a whirlwind of feelings, curiosity, recognition, longing, and perhaps even fear of what this moment may signify for their futures. This interplay between tradition and spontaneity, expectation and desire, creates a rich, layered narrative that is both relatable and dramatically compelling. Ultimately, this unexpected connection serves as the foundation of the story, establishing both emotional depth and narrative intrigue. It draws readers in because it promises a journey that goes beyond the ceremonial, a story where two individuals, caught in a moment of destiny and societal expectation, must navigate the complex terrain of human emotion. The formal setting amplifies their bond, making every glance, every unspoken word, and every subtle interaction resonate with significance, setting the stage for a romance that is as much about emotional discovery as it is about love. The story's core revolves around the delicate interplay between fate and personal choice, a theme that resonates deeply because it reflects the universal tension between destiny and free will. In the context of the wedding announcement, the presence of the man standing exclusively by her side is not merely coincidental. It suggests that circumstances have aligned in a way that feels almost predestined. This moment, orchestrated by a combination of societal structures and unseen forces, forces the characters to confront the question of how much of their lives is guided by fate and how much is shaped by their own decisions. For readers, this tension is compelling because it mirrors the complexities of real life, where moments of chance often collide with intentional choices, creating a rich emotional landscape. The concept of fate in this story is subtly woven through the characters' pasts and present circumstances. Perhaps their paths have crossed repeatedly over time in ways that seem accidental, yet are laden with significance. These prior encounters create a sense of inevitability, a feeling that their meeting at this pivotal moment is not merely a matter of chance. Fate in this sense acts as a guiding force, bringing them together in a scenario that is both public and intimate, formal and personal. Yet despite the apparent hand of destiny, the story carefully emphasizes the importance of personal choice. The characters must navigate their feelings, decide how to respond to their circumstances, and determine the nature of the bond that is forming between them. Their agency is crucial because it adds depth and realism to the narrative. Destiny may create opportunities, but it is the decisions they make within these moments that ultimately define their journey. This tension between fate and choice also heightens the story's emotional stakes. On one hand, there is a sense of inevitability that can be comforting and reassuring, suggesting that the connection they share was meant to be. On the other hand, the awareness that their choices still matter creates suspense and engagement for the reader. Each glance, each word, and each decision carries weight because it has the potential to either align with or resist the path that seems laid out before them. This duality generates a rich narrative texture, allowing the story to explore themes of love, trust, and personal responsibility within the context of a seemingly predestined moment. Furthermore, the interplay of fate and choice invites reflection on the broader implications of their relationship. It encourages readers to consider how chance encounters, timing, and decisions intertwine to shape the course of a life. In the story, the character's ability to recognize the significance of the moment, to act with intention, and to embrace the possibilities before them demonstrates the power of human agency even within the framework of destiny. Their journey becomes a meditation on how people can honor the paths fate places before them, while still exercising personal judgment and moral choice, creating a narrative that is both emotionally resonant and intellectually engaging. Ultimately, the balance of fate and choice forms the backbone of the story's romantic and dramatic tension. The man's exclusive presence at the announcement symbolizes destiny. Yet it is through conscious action, emotional courage, and decision-making that the characters navigate this pivotal moment. The narrative shows that while fate can open doors and guide circumstances, it is personal choice that determines the depth, authenticity, and outcome of a relationship. Connection, making the story a compelling exploration of love shaped by both destiny and human will. The dramatic reveal and the emotional tension in this story form the heart of its appeal, drawing readers into a moment that is simultaneously public and intensely personal. The announcement of the bride's name is not just a procedural part of wedding. It is a narrative device that creates suspense, expectation, and anticipation. Every element in this scene is designed to heighten the stakes, the crowd watching, the ceremonial setting, and the quiet awareness that the woman and the man beside her share a unique connection. The tension is amplified because the audience within the story and the readers themselves are aware that this moment carries significance far beyond the formalities of tradition. The juxtaposition of the public declaration and private emotion makes the reveal compelling, inviting readers to immerse themselves in the unfolding drama. The emotional tension arises not only from the circumstances of the announcement, but also from the subtle cues between the characters. A glance, a hesitant step forward, or the slight tightening of a hand can convey volumes without a single word spoken. These small, nuanced gestures allow the story to explore the intensity of unspoken feelings and the vulnerability that accompanies them. The man's presence beside her is more than mere physical act. It is symbolic of support, connection, and perhaps an unspoken history that informs the narrative. Readers are drawn into this tension because it mirrors the complex layers of real human interaction.
how proximity, timing, and emotional resonance can create a charged atmosphere that is both thrilling and intimate. The story's structure amplifies the dramatic reveal through pacing and timing. By focusing on the moment of announcement, the narrative isolates a single pivotal instant, allowing readers to feel the suspense as it builds. The anticipation is almost tangible. Who will be the man at her side? What will their interaction reveal? And how will the characters respond to the pressure of being observed? This careful management of narrative tension ensures that the reveal has maximum impact. It is not merely a plot point, but a moment that crystallizes the characters' emotions, their relationship, and the stakes of the story. The audience within the story, like the readers, experiences the mix of curiosity, surprise, and heightened emotion that makes this genre so engaging. Moreover, the dramatic reveal serves as a catalyst for further development in the narrative. It propels the story forward by introducing questions about past connections, potential conflicts, and the evolution of the relationship between the two central characters. The tension is sustained because the reveal is not the conclusion, it is the beginning of exploration, a trigger for interactions that will test loyalties, emotions, and societal expectations. This ongoing interplay of revelation and response keeps readers invested as they anticipate the unfolding consequences of this high-stakes moment. Ultimately, the story thrives on the intensity of the dramatic reveal and the emotional tension it generates. By combining public spectacle with private emotion, the narrative creates a scene that is rich, layered, and captivating. Every glance, gesture, and heartbeat in this moment carries significance, making the readers feel the suspense and the depth of connection between the characters. It is this interplay of anticipation, emotional resonance, and narrative pacing that defines the story's dramatic power and ensures that the audience remains fully engaged. The story's emotional depth is greatly enhanced by the dynamics and chemistry between the central characters, which serve as the driving force behind the narrative. From the moment the bride's name is announced, the presence of the man by her side signals more than mere coincidence. It hints at a connection that is layered, complex, and charged with anticipation. Their interaction is carefully crafted to convey intimacy without relying solely on overt expressions of affection. Subtle gestures, fleeting glances, and nuanced body language communicate volumes about their mutual understanding, trust, and unspoken history. This focus on character chemistry allows readers to engage with the story on a deeper level, creating a sense of investment in their evolving relationship. The uniqueness of their bond becomes especially apparent against the backdrop of a public and ceremonial setting. While the external environment is formal and structured, the characters' private emotions simmer just beneath the surface. The tension between public expectations and personal feelings enhances the chemistry, as every small exchange is loaded with meaning. The man's supportive presence, whether protective, reassuring, or quietly observant, creates an unspoken dialogue that readers can sense and interpret. This interplay builds emotional resonance, demonstrating that meaningful connection often exists in subtleties, not grand declarations. The chemistry is not instantaneous, but suggested through accumulated interactions, reinforcing the depth of their potential relationship. Character dynamics also allow for narrative tension and development. Their initial interactions might be cautious, polite, or restrained, reflecting societal norms or personal hesitation. Yet as the story progresses, moments of vulnerability or shared understanding gradually reveal layers of compatibility and emotional intimacy. The push and pull between caution and openness create a realistic portrayal of relational development, keeping readers engaged as they anticipate how these characters will navigate the complexities of proximity, expectations, and desire. The chemistry is heightened because it is grounded in realism. It is not simply a fantasy romance, but a believable unfolding of emotional connection that grows out of circumstance and personal choice. The dynamics between the characters also illuminate their individual traits and motivations. Observing how they respond to each other, through empathy, patience, or even subtle challenge, reveals courage, sensitivity, and intelligence. These traits not only deepen the character's appeal, but also strengthen their bond, as readers recognize the compatibility and mutual respect that underlie their growing connection. By exploring the layers of personality and emotional response, the story creates a multi-dimensional relationship that feels authentic and compelling. Ultimately, the chemistry and dynamics between the characters form the emotional engine of the story. Their interactions are the lens through which readers experience suspense, intimacy, and dramatic tension. The narrative carefully balances the external pressures of societal expectation with the internal pull of personal emotion, making every gesture and glance significant. It is this focus on character connection that ensures that the romance feels genuine, the stakes feel real.
The story maintains a captivating emotional rhythm that keeps readers fully immersed. It is this depth of character interplay that transforms a ceremonial moment into a profoundly resonant experience, establishing a foundation for love, conflict, and personal growth. The story's tension and emotional weight are further heightened by the interplay between societal expectations and personal desire, a theme that resonates deeply because it reflects a universal human struggle. From the moment the bride's name is announced, the characters are placed in a setting governed by tradition, family expectations, and cultural norms. Weddings, particularly in contexts where arranged marriages or formal ceremonies are common, are often more than celebrations. They are public performances in which individual desires must be carefully balanced against communal judgment. In this story, the bride and the man standing by her side navigate this landscape with subtlety and awareness, their emotions constantly filtered through the lens of what is considered acceptable or expected by those around them. This tension between societal expectations and private longing forms a central pillar of the narrative, creating a rich canvas for romance, drama, and personal growth. The public nature of the announcement intensifies this conflict. The bride is called forward as the center of attention, her every movement observed by family, friends, and extended community. In this highly scrutinized moment, her personal feelings must contend with expectations of decorum and tradition. The man beside her, described as the only one at her side, carries a symbolic weight. He represents a personal connection that may challenge or align with societal norms. Their proximity is not merely physical, it is a statement, subtle yet powerful, about the intersection of duty, perception, and personal emotion. Every glance, every gesture, and every moment of shared understanding between them is amplified by the awareness of observers, creating layers of meaning that deepen the reader's engagement with their story. The tension between societal expectations and personal desire also serves as a narrative catalyst, driving character development and plot progression. The bride and the man must negotiate not only their own feelings, but also the reactions of those around them. Decisions about how to act, what to reveal, and when to express emotion are fraught with complexity, reflecting real-world dilemmas that many readers can relate to. This push and pull dynamic allows the story to explore themes of authenticity, courage, and compromise, showing how the characters' choices shape their emotional journeys and the trajectory of their relationship. It also introduces suspense and stakes, as each character's internal struggle unfolds against a backdrop of external pressures. Moreover,
The story illustrates how societal expectations can simultaneously constrain and highlight personal desire. By placing the characters in a formal, structured environment, the narrative magnifies the significance of small acts of intimacy and understanding. A reassuring touch, a shared glance, or a fleeting smile becomes more meaningful because it occurs in a context that discourages overt displays of emotion. This contrast emphasizes the depth of the characters' connection and the strength of their feelings, making their personal desires feel urgent, authentic, and poignant. Ultimately, the interplay between societal expectations and personal desire adds layers of tension, drama, and emotional richness to the story. It situates the characters within a realistic and relatable framework, where love must navigate tradition, public perception, and familial obligation. This dynamic not only deepens the romance, but also allows the story to explore universal themes of choice, courage, and the pursuit of genuine connection. By balancing external pressures with inner longing, the narrative creates a compelling and immersive experience, ensuring that every moment, glance, and decision resonates with significance, making the journey of the characters both relatable and unforgettable.